Dr. Kim Hana pressed her face against the cold metal window of the research station. The planet below looked peaceful from space. Blue oceans mixed with green land masses. White clouds drifted across the surface like cotton balls. It reminded her of Earth, but with strange purple patches where forests should be. "Beautiful, isn't it?" said Park Jin-woo as he joined her at the window. The young engineer had been excited about this mission for months. His dark eyes sparkled with curiosity. As he watched the alien world spin slowly beneath them, Hana nodded but felt nervous butterflies in her stomach. They were the first humans to study this planet. Everything they found would be new to science. Everything could also be dangerous. "The shuttle is ready," announced Lee Minho from across the room. The communications officer checked his equipment one more time. "All systems show green. Weather on the surface looks calm." Choi Yuna walked over carrying her security gear. The tough woman had short black hair and serious eyes. "I still think we should wait for the second team," she said. 4 people isn't enough for a first landing. Hana understood Yuna's concern, but they had waited long enough. "The atmospheric readings are perfect. No dangerous gases, no extreme temperatures. This is our chance to make history." The team gathered their equipment and headed to the shuttle bay. Hana carried her biological scanners and sample containers. Jin-woo brought repair tools and backup power cells. Minho had his communication devices and translation programs. Yuna packed weapons that she hoped they would never need. The shuttle descended through the purple atmosphere. Hana watched through the front window as alien trees grew larger and clearer. The purple patches were indeed forests, but the trees looked nothing like Earth plants. They had silver trunks and leaves that seemed to glow with soft light. "Landing zone ahead," Minho called out. "Flat ground near the forest edge. Perfect for our base camp." The shuttle touched down with a gentle bump. Hana's heart raced as she realized they were now standing on an alien world. Through the window, she could see strange grass that moved without wind. Tiny flying creatures darted between the glowing trees like living jewels. "Atmospheric suits on," Yuna ordered. Even though the air seemed safe, they would take no chances on their first day. Hana was the first to step outside. Her boots touched alien soil for the first time. The gravity felt lighter than Earth. Each step seemed to bounce slightly. The air smelled sweet and clean through her suit's filters. "Readings look good," she said into her radio. "No hostile microorganisms detected. Plant life shows fascinating bioluminescent properties." Jinwoo set up their equipment while Minho established communication with the orbiting station. Yuna created a defensive perimeter and watched the forest line with careful eyes. Everything seemed peaceful and safe. Hana began collecting samples from the glowing grass. Under her scanner, the plants showed complex cellular structures unlike anything on Earth. The grass actually produced its own light through some kind of biological process. "This is incredible," she whispered. "These plants don't need sunlight to grow. They make their own energy." Hours passed as the team worked. They collected soil samples and plant specimens. They recorded the sounds of alien birds singing in the silver trees. Minho managed to establish a strong signal back to their station in orbit. As the alien sun began to set, the forest grew brighter instead of darker. The glowing plants increased their light output. It created a magical scene, like something from a fairy tale. Hana felt amazed by the beauty of this new world. Then Yuna's voice cut through their wonder like a knife. Movement in the tree line. Something big. Hana looked toward the forest and saw shapes moving between the silver trunks. At first, she thought they might be large animals like deer or elk, but as the shapes came closer, she realized they were much bigger and moved in a way that seemed wrong. "Pack up the equipment," Yuna ordered. "We're leaving now." But it was too late. Something emerged from the forest that made all 4 humans freeze in terror. The creature stood 12 feet tall on powerful legs that ended in sharp claws. Its body, was covered in black armor-like skin that reflected the forest's glow. 4 arms extended from its torso, each ending in hands that could easily crush a human skull. Its head was elongated like a predator's, with eyes that glowed red in the darkness. Most frightening of all were the patterns that pulsed across its skin. Lines of bioluminescent light ran along its arms and body. The patterns shifted and changed, like a living display. Sometimes they pulsed red like warning signals. Other times they flowed blue like calm water. "Nobody move," Yuna whispered. "Maybe it won't see us if we stay still." But the creature had already seen them. Its red eyes focused on the human team with obvious intelligence. This was not some mindless beast. Something smart and dangerous was studying them. The creature took a step forward. Then another. Its claws left deep marks in the alien soil. The bioluminescent patterns on its skin began pulsing faster. Red warnings mixed with yellow alerts across its dark surface. Hana tried to stay calm and think like a scientist. What did the creature want? Was it territorial? Was it hungry? Was it curious about these strange visitors to its world? "Back to the shuttle," Yuna said quietly. "Move slow. Don't run." The team began walking backward toward their ship. The creature matched, their movement step for step. It never took its glowing eyes off them. The patterns on its skin continued to shift and change as if it was trying to communicate something. Jinwoo reached the shuttle first and began the startup sequence. Minho helped load their equipment while keeping one eye on the approaching creature. Yuna held her weapon ready, but didn't aim it directly at the alien. Hana was the last to reach the shuttle. As she climbed the ramp, she turned for one final look at the creature. It had stopped advancing and now stood perfectly still. The patterns on its skin had changed to a steady blue glow that seemed almost peaceful. "What do you want?" she whispered to herself. The shuttle door closed, and they lifted off from the alien surface. As they rose into the air, Hana looked down and saw the creature still standing in the same spot. It watched their ship until they disappeared into the purple sky. "That was close," Jinwoo said as he piloted them back to orbit. "Too close." But Hana couldn't stop thinking about what they had seen. The creature's behavior didn't match that of a simple predator. Something about its movements and the way it had watched them suggested intelligence and maybe even curiosity. Back. On their orbital station, Hana reviewed the video recordings of their encounter. The creature's bioluminescent patterns were not random. They followed specific sequences that repeated like some kind of language or communication system. "We have to go back," she told the team. Yuna looked at her like she was crazy. "That thing could have killed us all." "But it didn't," Hana replied. "It had every chance to attack, but it just watched us. I think it was trying to communicate." Minho studied the recordings on his computer. "The pattern changes do seem organized, like it might be trying to send us a message. Or warn us to stay away," Yuna added. Hana stared out at the alien planet, spinning below them. Somewhere down there, the creature was probably still standing in that same spot, still watching the sky, still trying to communicate with beings it had never seen before. Tomorrow they would return. Tomorrow they would try to understand what the creature wanted to tell them. Tomorrow everything would change. Dr. Kim Hana could not sleep. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the creature's glowing red gaze. The patterns on its dark skin had been burned into her memory. Blue waves flowing across black armor, red pulses like a heartbeat, yellow flashes that seemed urgent and important. She sat at her computer reviewing the video recordings for the 100th time. The creature's movements were too careful to be random, too purposeful to be simple animal behavior. There was intelligence behind those glowing eyes. "You're up early," said Park Jinwoo as he entered the research lab. The young engineer carried a cup of coffee and looked tired. "Couldn't sleep either." "Look at this," Hana said, pointing to her screen. Watch the creature's arm movements when it approaches us. Jinwoo pulled up a chair and studied the video. The tall alien creature moved through the forest like a dancer. Each step was precise and controlled. Its 4 arms moved in coordination like it was performing some kind of ritual. "It's not hunting behavior," Hana continued. "Predators move differently. They stalk low and strike fast. This creature was announcing its presence, almost like it wanted us to see it coming." "Maybe it was trying to scare us away from its territory," Jinwoo suggested. "Then why didn't it chase us when we retreated? A territorial animal would have followed us to make sure we left. This one just stood there and watched." Lee Minho joined them at the computer. The communications officer looked concerned. "I've been analyzing the audio recordings from yesterday. Listen to this." He played a sound file through the speakers. Strange clicking noises mixed with low humming sounds. The noise came from the direction of the creature during their encounter. "It's not random noise," Minho explained. "There are patterns in the frequency and timing. It reminds me of dolphin communication or whale songs." Choi Yuna entered the lab carrying her security equipment. "Whatever it was trying to say doesn't matter. My job is to keep this team safe. That thing is dangerous." "Is it, though?" Hana asked. "We assumed it was hostile because of its size and appearance. But what if we were wrong?" She pulled up biological scan data from their encounter. "Look at these brain activity readings. The neural patterns show high cognitive function, problem-solving abilities, even what might be emotional responses." Jinwoo studied the data with growing excitement. "These readings are off the charts. This creature might be as intelligent as we are. Maybe more so." "Intelligence doesn't mean friendly," Yuna warned. "Smart predators are more dangerous than dumb ones." But Hana was already making plans to return to the surface. If the creature was truly intelligent, then first contact protocols should apply. "They needed to attempt communication, not run away in fear." "We go back today," she announced. "But this time we try to talk to it." The team prepared for their second landing with more care than before. Hana packed linguistic analysis equipment and mathematical displays. Jinwoo brought tools to create visual patterns and sounds. Minho loaded his computers with translation programs. Yuna brought bigger weapons but hoped they would not need them. The shuttle descended through the purple atmosphere once again. This time they landed in the same spot where they had encountered the creature. The glowing grass still swayed without wind. The silver trees still pulsed with gentle light. "Movement at 2 o'clock, Yuna reported as soon as they stepped outside. The creature emerged from the forest exactly as it had the day before. 12 feet of black armor and glowing patterns. 4 powerful arms and eyes that burned red in the alien twilight. But this time, Hana was ready for it. "Nobody run," she said calmly. "Let it approach." The creature stopped about 50 feet away and stood perfectly still. Its bioluminescent patterns shifted from red to blue to yellow and back. Again, the display seemed deliberate and controlled. "It's trying to communicate," Hana whispered. "Minho, are you recording this?" Every light pulse and color change, the communications officer confirmed. Hana took a step forward. The creature's patterns immediately shifted to rapid red pulses. She stopped moving and the red faded back to blue. "It's responding to our actions," she observed. "Jinwoo, try creating a light pattern with your equipment." The engineer activated a portable light projector. He created a simple sequence of blue flashes against the ground. 1 flash, pause, 2 flashes, pause, 3 flashes. The creature watched, the display with obvious attention. Then something amazing happened. The patterns on its skin began to mimic Jinwoo's sequence. 1 pulse of blue light along its arms. Pause. 2 pulses. Pause. 3 pulses. "It's copying us," Minho breathed in amazement. "This is actual communication." Hana felt tears of joy in her eyes. This was the moment every xenobiologist dreamed of. First contact with an intelligent alien species. She was witnessing history being made. The creature took a careful step closer. Its patterns had stabilized into gentle blue waves that flowed across its dark skin. The red warning lights were completely gone. Yellow curiosity signals pulsed occasionally along its back. "It's beautiful," Jinwoo whispered, "like a living light show." But their wonder was suddenly interrupted by new sounds from the forest. Harsh clicking noises that were nothing like the creature's gentle humming. Branches snapping under heavy weight, multiple sets of claws scraping against tree bark. The tall creature immediately spun toward the forest. Its patterns exploded into brilliant red warning displays. Every inch of its skin blazed with danger signals. It positioned itself directly between the humans and whatever was coming through the trees. "That doesn't look good," Yuna said as she raised her weapon. From the glowing forest came shapes that were clearly different from their tall friend. These new creatures were smaller but moved in coordinated packs. Their skin was mottled gray and brown without any bioluminescent patterns. Their movements were quick and aggressive like natural-born hunters. Pack predators, Hana realized, and they're heading straight for us. The tall creature began making loud warning sounds, deep bellows that echoed through the forest. Its four arms spread wide, making its massive size even more impressive. The patterns on its skin pulsed with aggressive red displays meant to intimidate, but the pack creatures showed no fear. They spread out in hunting formation and continued advancing. Sharp claws glinted in the forest's glow. Rows of pointed teeth flashed as they snarled at both humans and the tall defender. "It's protecting us," Hana said in amazement. "The tall creature is trying to protect us from the real predators." "Less talking, more running," Yuna ordered as she began firing warning shots over the pack's heads. The battle was about to begin. The tall alien creature against multiple pack hunters. 4 humans caught in the middle of an alien war. And somewhere, in the chaos, was the beginning of an unlikely friendship that would change everything. The pack creatures attacked with vicious coordination, but the tall defender was ready for them. Its 4 arms became weapons as it fought to protect the strange visitors to its world. The forest erupted with the sounds of claws against armor and intelligence against instinct. In that moment, Hana realized the truth. The tall creature had never been their enemy. It had been trying to warn them about the real danger all along. Everything they thought they knew about first contact was wrong, and now their lives depended on an alien they had feared just moments before. The forest exploded with violence. 6 gray creatures burst from between the silver trees, moving like a coordinated hunting pack. Each one was the size of a large wolf, but built like an armored lizard. Their mottled skin showed no beautiful light patterns, only scarred gray hide and rows of sharp teeth. Dr. Kim Hana watched in amazement as the tall black creature positioned itself as a shield between the humans and the attacking pack. Its 4 powerful arms moved like weapons as it faced the incoming threat. The bioluminescent patterns on its skin blazed pure red with warning signals. "Get to the shuttle!" Choi Yuna shouted as she fired her weapon at the nearest gray attacker. "Move now!" But Park Jinwoo had dropped his equipment bag during their retreat. Important tools and backup power cells scattered across the alien ground. Without thinking, he ran back to collect them. "Jinwoo." "No," Lee Minho called out, but it was too late. One of the gray pack hunters broke away from the main group and charged, straight at the young engineer. Its claws left deep gouges in the soft earth as it ran. Saliva dripped from its opened jaws, showing double rows of predator teeth. The tall creature saw the danger immediately. It spun away from the main battle and intercepted the charging hunter just feet from Jinwoo. 4 arms wrapped around the gray attacker and lifted it off the ground. The pack hunter snarled and clawed but could not break free from the powerful grip. With careful precision, the tall defender threw the gray creature back toward the forest. Not hard enough to seriously injure it, but with enough force to send a clear message. This area was protected. It saved him. Hana breathed in wonder. It actually saved Jinwoo's life. The battle continued around them as the remaining pack hunters circled like sharks. They were testing the tall creature's defenses, looking for weaknesses, planning their next coordinated attack. Yuna kept firing warning shots to scare them away, but the gray hunters showed no fear of human weapons. Their attention focused entirely on the tall black defender, as if settling an old score. They fought before, Hana realized as she watched the battle unfold. This isn't random. These species know each other. The tall creature's patterns had changed during the fight. Instead of simple red warnings, its skin now displayed complex flowing designs, blue streams mixed with yellow flashes and white pulses. The display was so intricate, it looked like living art. Minho, "Are you recording this?" Hana asked urgently. "Every second," the communications officer confirmed while helping Jinwoo gather his scattered equipment. "But I don't understand what we're seeing." "Communication," Hana said with growing excitement. "It's trying to tell us something during the battle." She studied the pattern changes on the creature's skin. The white pulses seemed to match the rhythm of their shuttle's emergency beacon. The blue streams flowed in the same direction they had. "Retreated yesterday. The yellow flashes occurred whenever one of the humans moved. It's copying our signals," she whispered in amazement. "Learning our technology and trying to communicate with it." The pack hunters regrouped for another assault. This time they attacked from multiple directions at once, 2 from the front to draw attention, 2 from the flanks to attack the sides, 2 more circling behind for a killing strike. The tall creature spun in place using all 4 arms to defend against the coordinated assault. Its movements were graceful, despite its massive size, like a deadly dance choreographed over centuries of evolution. But the pack was wearing it down. Claws raked across the black armored skin, leaving bright scratches. Teeth found gaps in the natural armor and drew glowing blue blood. The beautiful light patterns began to flicker as the creature weakened. "We have to help it," Hana declared. "Help? It how?" Yuna demanded while reloading her weapon. "We don't even know what it is." "It's protecting us," Hana replied firmly. "That makes it our ally." She grabbed Jinwoo's portable light projector and began creating flashing patterns on the ground, around the pack hunters, bright strobing lights that hurt to look at directly. The gray creatures snarled and shied away from the intense display. "The pack is sensitive to light," she called out. "Use anything that creates bright flashes." Minho activated the emergency strobes on his communication equipment. Jinwoo powered up his repair tools that included intense welding lights. Even Yuna switched her weapon to its tactical flashlight mode. The clearing filled with flashing lights from every direction. The pack hunters became confused and disoriented. They had evolved to hunt in the soft glow of the forest. These harsh, artificial lights overwhelmed their senses. The tall creature took advantage of their confusion. It moved with renewed energy and drove the pack back toward the tree line. Its skin patterns shifted to match the strobing rhythm of the human lights. Blue and white pulses synchronized perfectly with their equipment. "It's learning our light language," Jinwoo observed with awe, "adapting our signals for its own use." The pack hunters retreated into the forest but did not give up entirely. They circled just beyond the tree line, waiting, watching, planning. Their next assault. The tall creature stood guard between the humans and the forest. Its breathing was heavy from the battle. Blue blood seeped from several claw wounds along its arms and back. But it remained alert and ready to fight again if necessary. Hana approached carefully with her medical scanner. "Let me help," she said, softly. The creature turned its glowing red eyes toward her. For a moment, she saw intelligence looking back. Not the simple awareness of an animal, but the complex understanding of a thinking being. The patterns on its skin shifted to gentle blue, waves mixed with curious yellow spirals. No red warnings, no aggressive displays, just calm interest in this small human who wanted to help. "Your wounds need treatment," Hana said as she activated her medical scanner. I know first aid for different species. The scanner revealed something incredible. Under the creature's skin were complex technological implants, biomechanical devices that enhanced its natural abilities, communication arrays that boosted its light displays, medical systems that were already working to heal its wounds. But most amazing of all was the device around its neck. Hidden under thick armor plating was something that looked almost like a collar. Not a restraint, but a sophisticated communication device covered in blinking lights. This is technology, Hana breathed in amazement. Advanced biotechnology integrated with living tissue. You mean it's artificial? Yuna asked suspiciously. No, Hana replied while studying her scanner readings. It's enhanced. Someone took a naturally evolved creature and improved it with technology, made it stronger, smarter, better able to communicate. The implications hit her like a thunderbolt. This creature isn't wild. It belongs to someone. Some advanced civilization created it as a guardian or protector. Protected of what? Minho asked. Before anyone could answer, the ground beneath their feet began to vibrate. Deep thrumming sounds came from somewhere far below, like massive machinery operating in the planet's core. The collar device around the creature's neck began blinking faster, its patterns synchronized with the underground vibrations, sending signals down into the planet's depths. It's calling home, Hana realized, reporting what happened here, asking for instructions. The tall creature looked up at the darkening sky, then down at the four humans. Its skin patterns shifted to gentle blue acknowledgement mixed with something that might have been gratitude. Then it did something completely unexpected. It reached out with one massive hand and gently touched Hana's shoulder. The contact lasted only seconds, but conveyed a universe of meaning. Thank you, Hana whispered, understanding the gesture perfectly. Deep below the planet's surface, something was stirring. Ancient machinery coming to life. Powerful beings preparing to make contact with the strange visitors who had helped their guardian. First contact was about to become much more complicated than anyone had imagined. The ground shook harder as deep machinery rumbled beneath their feet. Dr. Kim Hana watched the tall creature's collar device flash with increasing urgency. Blue lights pulsed in complex patterns while underground vibrations answered back with their own rhythmic signals. Something big is happening down there, Park Jinwoo observed as he studied his geological sensors. Massive power sources activating. Structural movements on a scale I've never seen. The tall creature stepped back from the human team and raised its forearms toward the sky. The bioluminescent patterns on its skin shifted to pure white light that blazed like a beacon in the growing darkness. It's signaling, Lee Minho realized, calling to whoever lives below the surface. Choi Yuna kept her weapon ready while scanning the forest for more pack hunters. I don't like this. We're caught between underground unknowns and surface predators. But Dr. Hana felt only excitement as she watched history unfold. The collar device around the creature's neck was clearly advanced technology, biomechanical systems that integrated perfectly with living tissue. Whoever created such marvels possessed knowledge far beyond human capabilities. The white beacon display continued for several minutes, then slowly faded to gentle blue patterns. The creature lowered its arms and turned toward a section of forest they had not explored. It began walking with purposeful steps. After a few yards, it stopped and looked back at the humans. Its head tilted slightly in what might have been an invitation. The patterns on its skin pulsed with encouraging yellow signals. I think it wants us to follow, Hana said. Follow it where? Yuna demanded. Into a trap, into more danger, into answers, Hana replied firmly. This creature has been trying to communicate with us from the beginning. Now it's offering to show us something important. Against Yuna's protests, the team gathered their equipment and followed the tall guardian into the forest. The silver trees provided enough bioluminescent light to see clearly. Strange night sounds echoed around them, but no more pack hunters appeared. The creature led them along paths that seemed designed for its massive size. Wide trails carved between the trees, stone markers covered in glowing symbols. This was not wild forest, but managed parkland maintained by intelligent beings. "Look at these markings," Jinwoo said as he studied one of the stone markers. Geometric patterns mixed with what might be writing. Definitely artificial construction. Minho recorded everything with his cameras. The symbols seemed to match some of the light patterns we've seen on our guide's skin. Possible written language corresponding to bioluminescent communication. They walked for nearly an hour through the managed forest. The terrain gradually sloped downward, following natural valley formations. But Hana noticed that the path had been improved with careful engineering. Drainage channels to handle rainwater, reinforced sections to prevent erosion, steps cut into steep slopes. Someone spent centuries perfecting these trails, she observed. This level of infrastructure requires a stable civilization. The tall creature stopped at what appeared to be a dead end. Massive stone walls rose before them, covered in complex symbol patterns. But as their guide approached, the wall began to change. Sections of stone rotated away, revealing a tunnel entrance large, enough for the creature to walk through comfortably. Soft blue light emanated from within, showing a passage that descended into the planet's depths. "An elevator!" Jinwoo breathed in amazement. "Or some kind of transport system. The engineering is incredible." The creature turned toward the humans and made gentle, encouraging sounds. Its skin patterns shifted to welcoming blue and yellow displays. The invitation was clear. "It wants us to go underground with it," Hana said. "Absolutely not," Yuna replied immediately. "We don't know what's down there. Could be 1,000 more creatures. Could be a prison. Could be a processing plant that turns humans into food." But the creature seemed to understand their hesitation. It reached into a pouch on its side and withdrew a small device that looked like a miniature version of its collar. The device projected holographic images into the air above its hand. The hologram showed the underground city in breathtaking detail. Vast chambers carved from living rock and lined with bioluminescent crystals. Graceful architecture that blended natural formations with advanced technology. Gardens of glowing plants tended by beings similar to their tall guide. "It's beautiful," Hana whispered. "An entire civilization living beneath the surface." The hologram continued showing different scenes from the underground city. Libraries filled with crystal storage devices. Workshops where biotechnology was crafted and improved. Training areas where creatures like their guide learned to protect the surface approaches. "They're not primitives," Minho observed. "This is advanced science integrated with natural systems. Biotechnology that works with evolution instead of against it." The creature made more encouraging sounds and gestured toward the tunnel entrance. Its patterns had shifted to patient waiting, mixed with hopeful anticipation. It wanted to share its home with these strange visitors. "We go," Hana decided. "This is why we came to this planet. To make contact with new civilizations. To learn about life beyond Earth." Yuna started to protest, but Jinwoo placed a hand on her arm. "Look at how it's protected us so far. Fought off the pack hunters. Led us safely through the forest. If they wanted to harm us, there have been plenty of chances already." Reluctantly, Yuna agreed, but kept her weapons ready as they followed their guide into the tunnel. The passage was smooth and well-maintained, with crystal formations providing gentle illumination. The air smelled clean and fresh, with hints of ozone. From some kind of purification system, they traveled deeper underground on what seemed to be a moving walkway. The tunnel walls were carved with beautiful murals showing the history of this civilization. Great battles against the gray pack hunters, the development of biotechnology, the creation of guardian creatures to protect their borders. "How long have they been down here?" Jinwoo wondered as he studied the historical displays. "Centuries, at least," Hana replied. maybe thousands of years. Long enough to develop this incredible integration of biology and technology. The tunnel opened into the first of many vast chambers that made up the underground city. Hana gasped at the sight that greeted them. Crystalline towers reached toward the cavern ceiling, glowing with soft rainbow light. Gardens of phosphorescent plants created parks and walkways throughout the space. Beings similar to their guide moved through the streets going about their daily lives. But these city dwellers were different from their surface guardian, smaller and more delicate with intricate patterns that played across their skin in constantly shifting displays. Their biotechnology was more advanced with visible implants that enhanced their natural abilities. As the human team entered the city, many of the residents stopped to stare. Their bioluminescent patterns shifted to what seemed like curiosity mixed with caution. News of the surface visitors had clearly traveled ahead of their arrival. Their guide made announcing sounds that echoed through the crystal chambers. Several of the city dwellers approached with greeting patterns flowing across their skin. The meeting looked formal and important. First contact protocol, Hana whispered to her team. Let them make the first moves. Follow their lead. One of the approaching beings was clearly important, larger than the others with more elaborate biotechnological enhancements. Its skin patterns were incredibly complex, showing layers of meaning that shifted like living art. The important being approached their surface guide and began an intricate light display conversation. Patterns flowed between them faster than human eyes could follow. Their collar devices translated the bioluminescent language into harmonic sounds that filled the crystal chamber. After several minutes of rapid communication, the important being turned toward the humans. Its patterns shifted to what seemed like formal greeting mixed with curious examination. Then something incredible happened. The being's collar device projected words in perfect English above its head. Welcome visitors from the Sky Realm. I am Coordinator Thess of the Deep Watch. Your surface guardian Kale has reported your brave actions during the Pack Hunter attack. We are honored to meet the first sky beings to show friendship toward our people. Hana felt tears of joy streaming down her face. This was the moment every xenobiologist dreamed of. True first contact with an advanced alien civilization, communication between species separated by evolution but united by intelligence and curiosity. We are honored to meet you as well, she replied, hoping their own translation systems could convey her words properly. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship between our peoples. Coordinator Thess's patterns shifted to what looked like pleased acceptance. Then come. Let us show you the wonders of the deep realm. And perhaps you can help us solve a problem that has plagued our people for many generations. Coordinator Thess led the human team through the magnificent underground city. Dr. Kim Hana marveled at the crystal towers that grew like living things toward the cavern ceiling. Each structure pulsed with soft light that seemed to breathe with the rhythm of the city itself. Your architecture is incredible, she told Thess through the translation system. How do you grow buildings from crystal? We do not grow them, Thess replied, with patterns of gentle amusement flowing across its skin. We sing to the crystals, and they grow themselves. Our ancestors learned to work with the deep stone rather than against it. Park Jinwoo studied the Orcs, or biomechanical integration everywhere around them. Streetlights that were actually living organisms. Transportation tubes that functioned like arteries in a massive body. Gardens where plants provided both food and technology components. This is the most advanced biotechnology I've ever seen, he whispered to Lee Min-ho. They've created a living city that maintains itself. But as they walked deeper into the urban areas, Hana noticed tension in the crowds. Some of the deep dwellers displayed welcoming blue and green patterns when they saw the humans. Others showed warning reds and defensive oranges. The city seemed divided in its opinion about these sky visitors. There appears to be disagreement about our presence, Hana observed to Coordinator Thess. Thessa's patterns shifted to what looked like concerned acknowledgement. Yes, our people are divided on many issues lately. The appearance of sky beings has intensified old debates about isolation versus contact with outer realms. They entered a massive crystal chamber that served as some kind of government building. The walls were covered in flowing light displays that seemed to show news and information. Hana could see images of the surface, pictures of human technology, even recordings of their encounters with Guardian Kale. Your arrival has been the primary topic of discussion for days, Thess explained. Some believe sky beings could be valuable allies. Others fear you will bring destruction, as has happened to other worlds. Other worlds? Choi Yuna asked with sharp attention. You know about other planets with life. We have watched the sky realm for many generations, Thess replied. We know of worlds where sky beings consumed all resources and left empty shells behind. We know of places where intelligence was destroyed by greed and violence. The implications hit Hana like a physical blow. These people had been observing human expansion into space. They knew about Earth's environmental problems. They had seen humanity's capacity for both creation and destruction. We're not all the same, she said carefully. Some humans make mistakes, but others work to fix them. We came here seeking knowledge and friendship, not conquest. This is what I believe, Thess agreed. But others disagree. Come. The council wishes to meet you and judge for themselves. They entered a circular chamber where dozens of deep dwellers sat in crystal chairs arranged in concentric rings, each being displayed different patterns on their skin, creating a constantly shifting light show of opinions and emotions. At the center of the chamber sat two groups that were clearly in opposition. One group showed welcoming blues and greens when the humans entered. The other displayed warning reds and aggressive oranges. The Open Path faction believes contact with sky beings could benefit our people, Thess explained quietly. The Closed Circle faction believes sky beings will destroy our world as they have destroyed others. A large deep dweller from the red-orange group stood and began speaking. Its bioluminescent patterns blazed with angry warnings, while its collar device projected harsh sounds into the chamber. It says sky beings are plague carriers, Minho translated through his equipment. Disease spreaders who consume worlds and leave nothing behind. It wants us expelled immediately before we contaminate their realm. Another being from the blue-green group responded with calming patterns and musical tones. This one argues that sky beings helped Guardian Kale fight the pack hunters. It says we should learn from sky being knowledge and share our own wisdom in return. The debate continued for hours with both sides presenting evidence and arguments. Hana tried to follow the complex interplay of light patterns and harmonic sounds. The deep dwellers had created a sophisticated democratic system where every voice could be heard and considered. But she noticed something troubling during the discussions. Some of the Closed Circle faction displayed patterns she had seen before. The same aggressive red and orange colors that the pack hunters used during their attack. Minho, she whispered. Are you recording all of this? Every pattern and sound, he confirmed. Why? I want to analyze the color patterns later. I think I see connections we haven't noticed before. As the debate continued into the night, Coordinator Thess showed them to guest quarters where they could rest. The rooms were beautiful crystal formations, shaped to accommodate human physiology. Soft bioluminescent lighting provided gentle illumination, while air purification plants kept the atmosphere fresh and clean. But Hana could not sleep. She spent hours reviewing the recordings of the council session on her computer, comparing the patterns displayed by different faction members with recordings from their surface encounters. What she discovered made her blood run cold. The most aggressive members of the Closed Circle faction displayed the exact same warning patterns that the pack hunters had used during their attack. Not similar patterns, but identical sequences down to the timing and intensity. Either some deep dwellers can communicate with pack hunters, she whispered to herself, or some deep dwellers are controlling pack hunters. She woke her teammates and shared her discovery. Jinwoo examined the pattern analysis with growing alarm. The correlation is too precise to be coincidence, he agreed. Someone has been coordinating pack hunter activities, which means the attack on us might not have been random, Minho realized. It could have been a deliberate attempt to drive us away from the planet. Yuna was already checking her weapons. If some of these people are working with the pack hunters, then we're in serious danger down here. Before they could plan their next move, alarms began sounding throughout the Crystal City. Deep, harmonic tones that seemed to vibrate through the very rock itself. Emergency lighting activated, casting everything in urgent red illumination. Coordinator. Thess burst into their quarters with patterns blazing emergency warnings across its skin. Pack hunter assault on the city perimeter. Massive coordinated attack. All guardians called to defense positions. How did they find the city entrances? Hana demanded. Thess's patterns shifted to grim realization. Someone told them. Someone from within our own people has been feeding information to the pack hunters. The betrayal cut deep into the heart of Deep Dweller society. For generations, they had maintained unity against external threats. Now they faced the devastating knowledge that enemies existed within their own ranks. The Closed Circle faction, Hana said with certainty. They're so afraid of outside contact that they've allied with pack hunters to drive us away. Some of them, yes. Thess agreed with patterns of deep sadness. But the pack hunters serve their own agenda. They seek to destroy all intelligence, whether sky being or deep dweller. The Closed Circle fools do not understand they have allied with extinction itself. Battle alarms continued sounding as guardian creatures like Kale took positions throughout the city. But this assault was different from anything they had faced before. Coordinated attacks on multiple entrance points. Pack hunters using deep dweller knowledge of city layouts and defensive systems. We have to help, Hana declared. If the city falls, we all die together. Help how? Yuna asked practically. We're 4 humans with basic weapons against hundreds of pack hunters. We have something they don't expect, Hana replied with growing confidence. Human tactical thinking, different approaches to problem solving. Kale learned from us during our surface encounter. Maybe other guardians can learn too. The battle for the underground city was about to begin. The future of Deep Dweller civilization hung in the balance, and somewhere in the chaos was a chance to prove that cooperation between species could triumph over fear and hatred. Please wait for the next part.